detectives in it, and then this whole crowd, this whole captive audience, I had them all sing the Brady Bunch song.
Oh, that's awesome.
So very proud. Very proud. It's a proud moment.
It's a proud moment.
Now we're going to add to the proud moments. We're going to add to the proud moments by you guys, first thing in the morning, when I go alphabetically to camera, here's the thing there. Here's what we're doing. We're all going to sing Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Starting right now.
Scooby-Doo, where are you? We got some work to do now. Scooby-Doo, where are you? We need some help from you now. Come on, Scooby-Doo, I see you. Sending you got us to the bird.
38.
You're holding me, 'cause I can't see the way you shake and shiver. You know we got a mystery to solve, a Scooby-Doo, be ready for your act. Don't hold back. And Scooby-Doo, you know you're gonna have yourself a Scooby snack. That's a fact. Scooby-Doo, where are you?
I'm going to make you sing the Scrappy-Doo part.
No, we'll catch that bill.
I love it.
Oh my God.
Well, on that note.
Good night, everybody. So this is a fun thing we're doing at 10 o'clock. Because we didn't have enough room for all the things we want to do this weekend, we're going to do random panels using this giant 20-sided die. And you'll see that the critical fail on number 1 is Scrappy-Doo. So if somebody rolls a 1, by gosh, we're going to talk for 5 or 10 minutes about Scrappy-Doo, whether you like it or not. So, okay, keep going.
Well, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Debbie Begay. I'm a New York Times bestselling author of mysteries, thrillers, and something else. Dark fantasy. There we go. It took a minute. I'm too tired. And I have been a Scooby-Doo fan all of my life.
Yay! And your Sweet Seasons series?
Yes, one of my book series, Sweet Seasons, which is about a girl who gets her first job working at a theme park and all the wacky things that happen to her. The fall one, Fall of Candy Corn. She gets chased by monsters through a maze, and someone's actually trying to, shut down the haunted attraction at the theme park. And it's very Scooby-Doo-esque. At the very end, when they catch the bad guy and rip his mask off, he says, "I would have gotten away with it if it weren't for you meddling kids."
And then life was complete.
It was. It really was.
And I'm Dr. Scott Figuet, creator of Dr. Keek's Laboratory and archaeologist, author, attorney, actor, anything that begins with the letter A.
Yep.
And I too have been a big fan of Scooby-Doo since the very beginning, and just love it. It dawned on me though, sometime I think it was in the late '70s, it finally dawned on me that almost every classic Scooby-Doo show is either about land rights, or about oil or some other mineral that they're trying to get out of the land, or it's about Confederate money.
Yes. It's true.
That plot serves them well.
It does. It really does. As a writer, it's interesting because I have found that there are a lot of things I loved in my childhood that when I rewatch them as an adult, it's kind of painful because television style writing and things like that have moved on and evolved, and so some things you go back like, wow, this is really slow, or wow, it's just not up to speed with what modern storytelling feels like. But Scooby-Doo is one of those things that it's like eternal, It doesn't, and you're like, yeah, I mean, and even their costumes, while there's definitely, a period that you're evoking with them, they're not that, over the top and ridiculous, so that it doesn't, look odd and out of place even today so much. But I keep trying to capture that as a writer, especially when I write mysteries. I go back and I say, what is the magic of Scooby-Doo? Because just putting it on makes me feel happy, it makes me feel comfortable, it makes me feel excited, and I love that there's just that little element of spooky, you know, and the spooky, it was safe enough as a little kid that you didn't, you know, have to hide behind the couch and cry, you know, and be worried, but, you know, it captures that feeling of what it's like to be telling ghost stories, you know, and you know, around the campfire if you're camping, or, you know, that Halloween kind of sensation, and that happens every time I watch it. So as a writer, I've spent, you know, time, you know, trying to dissect it and go, how do I replicate that for my own mysteries and stuff?
Well, you know, Hanna-Barbera replicated it like crazy. You know, Speed Buggy. I mean, literally, the rest of the Hanna-Barbera lineup was, okay, it's got to be, you know, 4 kids and a wacky sidekick thing. It's either an intelligent animal, or, you know, anthropomorphized, or a car, or, you know, caveman, shark, yeah, Jabberjaw. I mean, you know, but you know, a pussycat,
werewolf?
yeah, a fake face.
Fake face.
Yes, yeah, but you know, literally that formula they replicated like crazy, but it's because it does kind of work, and it is amazing. I think eternal is the best way to put it, because it's been reimagined. You know, we talk at this convention. We talk about all sorts of franchises we all love, and it dawned on me that I must be getting old, because everything that I grew up with is approaching a significant you know, landmark. 45 years, 50 years.
45 years.
This is 45
years.
Yeah, that doesn't bode well for my age. That's, but that means that. You know, it's one of those things where it is as relevant today as it was the day that it was on, honestly, and the more they bring it back, and what's nice is that, you know, they tried to modernize it and do all sorts of crazy things, but the last few iterations have really tried to bring back Scooby-Doo, Where Are You?
Yeah.
Yeah, there is, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think the newest thing I've seen is the Scooby-Doo and Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated series.
Yes, that was so awesome.
Yes, it was.
It's like a continuing series.
Yeah.
So it's like a whole season of like interlocking stories.
Yeah, they had two seasons, and they had these great story arcs. And spoiler alert: what is so awesome is, it evokes all the great storytelling and styles that we do today, with the season arcs and the whole bit. And they created this wonderful Crystal Cove world that they all come from. And then at the very end, they even bring in Nibiru. I mean, all they needed was the Ancient Aliens guy, and it'd be all set. But they had who was the writer who started as himself? Harlan Ellison. Harlan Ellison
on as himself,
which was great as a sage of advice.
It was hilarious.
And at the very end, they travel through, you know, they've saved their world, but it causes a reality shift, and they end up in the world of Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? And you're like, well, there you go. This is how come all the monsters are a little bit odd in the first series. But essentially, the whole thing turns out to be a prequel to Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Even though they make references to like the Black Knight and all these other adventures in season 1.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, but now they're in the universe that fits them, which is really great.
And don't they? And I believe at some point they reference Scrappy-Doo too.
Oh yeah, they do. They have Thelma's parents are the keepers of all lore of Crystal Cove, and they have this museum, and that's why you can see, like, you know, the minor 49er,
yes,
and the Black Knight, and the sea captain with the diving suit and the whole bit. So you get this idea that these adventures have already happened, and then they make some, and Thelma's mom makes some passing reference to Scrappy-Doo, and they all shudder.
Awesome.
You know, but I mean, you know, that's what's really cool, is that you can do modern storytelling with all the sensibilities that we all want, with the story arcs and everything, and it was still Scooby-Doo, and I think that's great. I mean, plus they're archetypes. I mean, these characters are archetypes, and that means that they are something that we're all going to respond to. Because I think we all know every single one of them. I think there's a little bit of all of us in every one of the characters. Because, I mean, let's face it, a lot of us are brainy and can, relate to Thelma. A lot of us, want to be heroic, and that's why I like Fred. And what I love about the latest show is that Fred is just as much of a geek as everybody else, and by showing just how obsessed he is with traps and Rube Goldberg kind of plans, you can see why he has a friendship with everybody else. The relationships between all of them make sense.